Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. My name is Jane if you're here for the first time. Today's video is all about personality and quizzes and who we really are deep down. Let me just share a little bit about where I'm coming from and my perspective and attitude on why I believe self-awareness and really getting to know yourself is such a core part of your identity, your growth, and will just put you on the right foot forward. In light of this video, I also wore my shirt that evokes the most personality from myself. If you saw my Everlane styling video, this is the shirt that I would identify as if I became a shirt. It's pink, it's extra, it's polka dotty, it has shoulder slits, like all of the above. Check them all. So that's me. Let's get right into it. In the day and age that we live in, our culture has created so much appealing and attractive external stimulus, whether it's on our phones, it's in the world, it's in retail, it's in consumerism. They've created all these distractions that help us to avoid looking inward and potentially seeing and understanding what we really want to pursue. Evolutionarily, if that's a word, we are designed to crave distraction, because back in the day, survival meant seeing something run by you, you're gonna go hunt that. See a threat, you gotta go the other way. You know, we're prone to distractions, and that is ingrained in us. And how well we're able to control and discipline ourselves through these distractions and other constant commotion happening is going to help us get closer to understanding what we really want inside and what's really happening in here. That kind of brings me to my next point of the mind and how scary and deep of a place it is. It's another really great reason why people might avoid looking inward and really thinking, because once you get in this little noggin, there's just, you can tunnel all the way in. It brings up past trauma, family relationships, maybe insecurities. There's just so much that you work through in understanding your mind and your attitude and just your upbringing. It's a lot. I'm not here to deny that. It is a lot. But if there's anything I can do, I want to encourage everyone to take the first hard step. Take the step in just choosing one area that you want to think a little bit more about and understand. Get into the habit of doing the hard thinking so that eventually it doesn't really get that hard anymore. It doesn't scare you. It doesn't stress you out to have to think about these things. Which brings me to one of my favorite quotes. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. Guys, we are humans. Humans are the most evolutionary developed species on the earth. What do we have to be afraid of? I want to believe in the power of the mind and the power of the heart. These are very innate qualities that no other species can replicate. I believe there's power in that. Why are we afraid of certain things? Because we don't know enough about them. We don't know what's on the other side. Whether it's a job, a person, a place, you only create fear when you don't know enough about it. Why not try to learn a little bit more about it? Try to understand it more so that we don't live with this sense of fear and avoidance. We live with a sense of curiosity, and we live to explore, and we live to learn. Understanding is truly the start of embarking on more of your potential. So yeah, that was a quote, some of my takeaways. Let's get back into the personality portion of it. Starting off with the first personality quiz. This is the famous Myers-Briggs MBTI 16 personalities. This is Catherine Isabel Briggs, who started the MBTI tool in 1917. Catherine's interest in personality peaked upon meeting her future son-in-law and observing differences between him and her family members. Building off the work of Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, she spent 2 decades observing personality and understanding human development. The work kicked off when her daughter Isabel showed an interest in contributing to the war efforts during World War II to help allocate workers to tasks that better suited them. Isabel developed the indicator, sold it to a publisher in 1957, and it's evolved to what we have today. I am an ENFJ, which is the protagonist, and I have the A branch, which is the assertive protagonist. So just a little snippet of the ENFJ A You're very people focused. You live in a world of people possibilities and excellent people skills. You focus and care a lot about bringing out the best in others. Your primary mode of living is focused externally, where you deal with things according to how you feel about them and how they fit into your personal value system. So I think that is huge to how I navigate the world. I really need to make sense of things and how they fit into my personal value structure in order for me to be at peace with something, and it always needs to make sense in that overall structure. I can never do something that doesn't have clear roots or like branches in a different area that I believe in. I am very people oriented. I love uncovering things with people. I love understanding people, and I also love when people embark on their own journey of understanding. As you can see, that's a big trend in this video. I've taken this quiz back in high school as well, and I was an ENFJ then. I am still an ENFJ now. If anything, I think it is stronger more than ever.
This is Gary Chapman, author of the New York Times bestseller, The 5 Love Languages. His theory is that people tend to give love in the way that they prefer to receive love. So knowing and communicating your love language with your partner, friends, and family is incredibly important. Since its publishing in 1992, there are now versions for teens, men, single, couples, etc. The 5 love languages consist of words of affirmation, receiving gifts, quality time, acts of service, and physical touch.
I think this is so important to know your love languages as well as your partner or your friends. Relationships are supposed to strengthen us, encourage us, inspire us. And love is a powerful emotion that can embody all of those really great qualities. My love languages are: number 1, acts of service; number 2, receiving gifts; number 3, quality time; number 4, physical touch; and number 5, words of affirmation. And I think there's a discrepancy. Receiving gifts is not meant to be a materialistic type of love language. It can be something as small as like a drink, or like a bookmark. You just want to know that there's some creativity and thought and effort that went into the approach of choosing a gift or whatnot. Acts of service has always been my number 1. I love when people do things for me. For me, it shows that they really want to help alleviate something that I'm working on or I'm struggling with, and they want to like carry that burden with me. And it's so meaningful when someone goes out of their way to do something. Words of affirmation is last because I don't know, I just never really could get into it. I have gone on the journey of self-reflection, and I know the things that I affirm myself with, and in that sense, hearing affirmation from others is not as encouraging or uplifting. Obviously, every now and then it's like nice to hear that you're nice or something, but I'd much rather someone do something for me. In the nicest way possible. If they don't want to do it, like, totally cool. And I think these can also change throughout your life. Different stages, big life decisions can change the importance. Also, depending on who you meet, someone can change your perspective or attitude on a certain love language. Yeah, be open-minded to it. Everyone has their own gifts. Everyone shares a beautiful and unique art that only you get to know if you get on that journey of getting to know them. So that's love languages for you. Now let's talk about the DISC personality test.
The roots of the DISC assessment date back to 444 BC, when Empedocles believed external factors of fire, earth, water, and air were the 4 forces behind personality. In 400 BC, Hippocrates claimed personality to be a result of the internal factors: choleric, sanguine, phlegmatic, and melancholic. In 1928, psychologist William Moulton Marston ran with this idea during his studies at Harvard, acknowledging that personality was both internal and external forces, but largely influenced by our external factors. So came his book, Emotions of Normal People. He redefined the 4 quadrants to be dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. And in 1940, psychologist Walter Clark picked up where Marston left off and created the first DISC personality assessment that we know and use today.
Please excuse the change in lighting. The sun just decided to completely disappear. My strongest areas were number one, influence, and then dominance. Influence describes the way that you deal with people, the way you communicate and relate to others. Influence describes the way you deal with problems, assert yourself, and control situations. The main overarching theme of influence is you are socially oriented, you have a strong self-motivation to get to know people in all walks of life and to nurture those relationships. Totally believe in that. I think everyone has a unique art and amazing story of life that they can share. Doesn't matter where you are in life, what your credentials are, what your status is. The fact that you are alive and the fact that you can live to talk about who you are as a person is meaningful to me, and I love getting to know that. I also am huge into nurturing those relationships. You have a natural enthusiasm for all types of ideas and projects, your own and your other people's. Hands down for sure. I'm so excited when I get to hear about peers' initiatives or projects. Just this morning, I caught up with my friend Jackie, who is on YouTube as well. Go check her out. I'm so excited for her. I'm thrilled to root for other people and celebrate others. People are likely to describe you as gregarious, persuasive, and optimistic. What do you guys think? Friends, are you watching? That is just a brief lowdown of my DISC personality. Steadiness and compliance is about patience, thoughtfulness. Compliance is how you approach activity and procedures and responsibility. Definitely not my strength. Steadiness, yeah, I'm like quite impatient. Quite impatient. Compliance, like yes, I can respect and be obedient in some scenarios, but I'm always a huge advocate of to each their own as well. So there's that for you. Moving on to the last and final personality test, which is the Enneagram. Enneagram.
G.I. Gurdjieff is credited with making the word Enneagram and the figure commonly associated with it in 1915, even though the history is widely disputed. The figure consists of a circle symbolizing unity, an inner triangle symbolizing the cosmic law of 3, and an irregular hexagonal periodic figure symbolizing the cosmic law of 7. Oscar Ichazo, who passed this March, is generally recognized as the creator of the 9 personalities. The Bolivian-born Ichazo began teaching programs of self-development in the 1950s and founded the Arica Institute, originally based in Chile. Thereafter, Claudio Naranjo, MD, and other psychologists in Berkeley combined the Enneagram with the latest developments of modern psychology.
So we're on the final personality quiz, of which is the Enneagram. I just took it and I got the type 7, which is the enthusiast. This is the description: pleasure seekers and planners in search of distraction, which is so funny because we just talked about distraction. 7s are future-oriented, restless people who are generally convinced that something better is just around the corner. I am very big on ideals and future-oriented thinking. They're quick thinkers who have a great deal of energy and who make lots of plans. Yes, let me show you my planner. It is fully stocked. I love planning. I love fitting things in different pockets of time. Ooh, this is interesting. 7s are fear types who are specifically afraid of the power of negative state of minds. Huh, that is so accurate because I am so big on mindset and building a healthy mindset because of just the potential and the momentum it can bring. And here they are telling me that I'm deathly afraid of negative state of minds. And then usually with Enneagrams, you can get your type and then there's a wing attached to it. So kind of like it's secondary personality type thing. So I got type 7 with the wing 8. So the 8 type is the challenger. They like taking charge, but they don't want to be controlled. That feels really accurate. 8s are strong-willed, practical, tough-minded, and energetic. They also tend to be domineering, which makes sense because in my DISC personality, that was my second strongest trait. And their unwillingness to be controlled by others frequently manifests in the need to control others instead. So, okay, not a great quality, but I can see where that's coming in. Overall, these quizzes were all pretty darn accurate. Wow. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed by all of them. I think love languages makes sense. I can see it manifest in the way that I interact with others. I think the Enneagram does a really great job of putting words to things that I didn't know were how I felt, and like the behaviors that I had, they just kind of like wrote it out as it is. Obviously, these are just quizzes. You don't need to stick to any of these. Don't put your identity in any of these online quizzes. At the end of the day, you guys are the only ones who know how you truly feel, and you have the ability to also choose who you want to be. Not saying go on a personality journey and try different things out, but don't limit yourself to thinking you're only one type of person or one type of way, because the world is your oyster and you guys are truly in control of your lives. With that being said, I hope you guys were able to take a little bit away from this video, learn about personality quizzes that you haven't tried before, and or retake them and see if things have changed. I know this quarantine has been a little bit of crazy for everybody, so I'm hoping that there can be some really positive and healthy reflection coming out of it. Find areas where you can improve and or really dig into things that you want to pursue moving forward. Like always, you have inherent value, dignity, and worth, and I hope you will live it out today. Thank you so much for your time, and I will leave all relevant descriptions, links, resources down below. Make sure to check it out, and if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm looking forward to sharing more self-help content with you. All right, guys, have a beautiful day. I'll see you in the next one.